Hello again, traders. Right, I've been back from my swim and the beach and the walk and sunbathe and all that lovely stuff for about half an hour, I guess. First thing I wanted to do was, well, get some food in me, but also double check this US tech chart, the US 100 chart, and I thought it was a good idea. Apologies for all the lines on here, but you know what I do, and for indicator haters, you need to realise that the software available to traders is a bonus. It's nothing to be proud of saying I can trade naked charts or candlesticks, because candlesticks are indicators. So just train yourself to use the tools available. And the fact is, as I will explain here, they keep me out of bad trades so many times. And that's the point of this video, because I've got to wait. That's all there is to it. So I thought I might as well make a video and I can get back to trading robot work. But look, I draw this for myself. I'm not drawing it for the video. I open the charts, I go through all the time frames. This is currently on M30, and I can clearly see we have no reason to go long over here on M30. I want to see this full, all four time frames matching, or without a shadow of a doubt, the actual time frame that we're on, M30. You can just see that. I need to brighten that up. That's another job on the list. TMA, this is why I love the TMA so much. Sometimes, very rarely, I will trade when the TMA isn't green, because it does tend to lag, because it is a slope indicator. Hence the clues in the name. TMA slope. TMA slope, true scalper in this instance. So, although this looks like an absolute perfect entry, we're coming into the Frankfurt Open. In fact, if we are in proper British summertime all over the world now, we are in the Frankfurt Open. I haven't checked whether we're all in sync yet, because I don't really trade this time of day anymore. It's all Asian session stuff. But this is such a powerful mover that I am, be stupid not to. If it's going to go up, it's going to go up. And if everything ticks the boxes, as ex-professional traders used to say 2 decades ago, if it looks right, take it. Take every trade, because you're going to get losers, but you've got your rules and you trade by your rules. That's it. And that's what I do. And that's why I'm talking to you now, because this is not correct. Watch this explode in a moment. But it doesn't matter. It's not correct. And that's all there is to it. We've got the 3CR there. That's what Aaron created for us. Free again. This is effectively, when you get a 3CR, it's a break of, in this instance, in a long, it's a break of resistance, and price will often come back to test the resistance. If it goes without us, it goes without us. But this is, again, if I didn't have this, I'd be into this trade. And it might be a good thing that I'm in the trade. But I get so many winners anyway that it doesn't matter. Just stick with the rules. Here we got the gap. That's what I was trying to highlight there. We want to see that new green there. We want to see that down here. And then what will happen, the higher time frame will come into alignment as well. They're all about alignment. That's what the 3CR is about. The 2B reversal was the pattern. The 3CR was the pattern within the pattern, and with slight improvements that Aaron managed to work out without asking me, which was incredible. Still blows me away today. So we've got the RSI, but we haven't got the bust, pullback, break and close. This one is not a very clear one, but I've explained it many times anyway. But you've got the bust, and then this is probably a higher close than that bust, pullback, the red bar. Doesn't matter how many bars, but it has to close above that to be a valid signal long. So we're going back to this. It's out of alignment. So what do I need to do? Well, I need to check other time frames, see what's going on. I know H4 did its stuff with the DBB2 or yeah, it is double Bollinger Bands 2. So that, and look what happened. It went up. That one there failed, but it doesn't matter because other stuff like this would have 3CR'd back down on the lower time frames. I can't trade against a negative bearish 3CR on M1, M5, M15 and so on. I have to wait for them to be in alignment again. Again, it's all about alignment. In fact, that's just reminded me I could make a 3CR multi-time frame indicator. Probably to overkill because one of the other ones will pick up on it anyway. This would probably look identical to the 3CR indicator because of the way it's all the different time frames of the Bollinger Bands. This one, this is Nick Bixby. This is Nick Bixby's indicator from the forex factory. So what is this telling us? Well, H4 told us that we're already, we're in a strong move, but the correct entry was there because now we're in continuations. The strongest trigger for the move was after the new 4-hour Bollinger alignment, which is that. So I hope you're getting what I'm talking about, multi-time frame analysis. So we're on H1 now, so we're still wrong on the TMA. If this turns correct, and the 30-minute is still wrong, this is the point I was also trying to make, is that the H1 is more powerful, so we need a bit of green here. Another point I don't make enough is that I will trade these sometimes. Say, for example, if I'm entering a 1-minute trade, looking at the 15-minute or even the 5-minute, if these are just turning green but I can see the powers come in, then I don't wait to the end of that 15-minute or 5-minute bar. If everything looks correct on, say for example, the H1, H4 or M30, H1, M4, and also everything's correct on the M1. So there's so many nuances, but as I say to everyone, you have to do the screen time, and then you have to, at the weekends, people say, there was this wanker selling a course telling people that you don't need to trade weekends, you don't need to look at charts at the weekends, just join my paid £400 a month course it was, and I'll talk you through it all in the group and everything, and it's just a scam. So you do need, back to that, watch all of the popular BTC type coins, the ones that are compared to USD, like .USD and Sol USD and ETH USD and BTC USD. You don't have to trade them or just trade them on demo, but it's the screen time that you need to build up all these nuances. So, this is screaming, don't trade it. The amount of times I've traded, thought I was clever, and wasn't clever at all. In the past, in the way back past, has told me just wait, because when these candles close anyway, and they might close green, more often than not, you're going to get a pullback on the lower time frames. So when M30 turns correct, which it hasn't yet, it's almost as if this isn't there's nothing going on at all. But it's going to fly in a short while because we've got the UK Open in 36 minutes and a bit less. So believe me, something's going to happen. And I don't really want to be trading that because that's dangerous. I mean, you're trading with the billions in the market then. Who knows, even trillions maybe. So, I'm not interested in that really. But whatever happens, if H4 is telling us to go long, then just let it all settle down, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock this morning, and wait for a a fully aligned, safe trigger, and then you're good to go. So that is probably the biggest lesson from this convoluted video, is don't break the rules. Use indicators. Don't be an idiot and say, I don't trade indicators. You probably don't even trade, full stop. And just wait for everything to align. So let's have a look at 15. I think I started on 15, didn't I? 15, look, we've got a pullback going on there, the one that we didn't have from the original 3CR, but this is all just pre-London Open stuff going on now. If we get on M1, which I won't actually, you'll probably see it went mad when the Frankfurt and the DAX opened. So that's it really. There's nothing much else to say. This will potentially have a high volatility bust, pullback, break and close, just in time for the London Open, or during the London Open in 34 minutes now. And who knows, that will come into alignment and this will all be green and good to go. I do trade the bust, pullback, break and close on these as well, but I don't think there's any examples here at the moment. But they almost always align with the RSI. Correct. There's a clear one. Bust, pullback, break and close, and that was right on the open of the market. So it's not really a proper thing. This is a bust, pullback, break and close here. Let's put a vertical on that. There's a bust, pullback, break and close. I don't think that was the original one, but massive. And as you can see, this pulled back. So that would have gone into probably an instant 1 minute pullback and kept us out of that. That's an important zoom in, if you like. That's an important one to have found, and that's what I do. You know, I wait for the pullback, and you don't just hit these things, bust, pullback, break and close, hit it. That's when you have to wait for it to close. As I said before, you have to, and there are instances I don't, but that's a whole different nuance based on all sorts of other things as well. So, you know, and that again is why you have to do the screen time to work out the good ones from the bad ones. And here's that good one. Bust, pullback, failed to break and close the high of that. This, I noticed it because it looks like there's no gap between the digits, if you like, the numbers there, but there was a clear gap there, so it's easy to spot that. That is a definite trigger, which is, and we have to move it onto the trigger candle. That one there, that's the close. This is a new candle, and you know, you work out your own. This will be in itself a tiny little 1 minute 2B. I'm not going to go into that here either, because it's not the point of this video. But that will be a 2B. Remember, when we get a signal, trigger, whatever you want to call it, whether it's a 3CR or it's a valid bust, pullback, break and close, always expect a pullback on the M1 or even the tick chart if you want. But the point is, the higher time frame, M15, has given you the trigger that everything's good to go. Once the lower time frame, once the pullbacks happened, there are ways to trade without the pullback, just trade the break of the high or whatever, but that is dangerous, and the pullback is safer, but you might miss a couple of trades. But they are everywhere. They are literally everywhere. I can't stress that enough. So, you know, this is just, it keeps you out of stupid trades. And that is why I made this video, because I'm waiting for the perfect entry. I've already, you know, I only want one trade a day, but if it's going like a steam train like yesterday, then there were 4, 5, 6 opportunities just running up to the Frankfurt session. And then I can't remember what happened, but, you know, normally what happens when you change sessions is you will have a pullback. It goes one way in one session, or not normally, but very often, should I say. So you're always aware of that, but that's screen time again. And a guy in a course can teach you that, but even, oh, fantastic, you pay $400 a month for 10 months, $4,000, and really you should just pay $400, if that, get all the information, then go away for 5 years and learn how to use it. That is the honest truth, guys. Very, very, very few people actually make it in this industry, and the ones that do take 5, 10, 15 years to do it. I promise you that. So, I mean, there are obviously geniuses out there and exceptions to every rule, but 99% fail. The brokers tell you 85, 86, 75, whatever, but they're gonna have all sorts of ways to massage those figures to make them wrong, to make them look better than they actually are. I promise you that. So anyway, and also as a last point, finding a system and buying a system, a method, whatever you want to call it, is easy. But overcoming the fear and greed, fear of missing out, and the greed, you only live once, YOLO, is what will kill traders. You can have the best method in the world, and two people will trade it entirely differently. One will make money, the other one will keep breaking little rules and give up, lose all his money, or stick around for 5 or 10 years and overcome the bad urges. So, the temptation is to get involved in this here, but the RSI isn't right. The TMA is right now. It's and the BB2 isn't right. It's all, and that's M15. Back to M30. Nothing will have changed on M30. Oh, we have turned green here. That's nice, but it's only turned green. It's not closed green yet. But we're running straight into the dangerous time to trade, so I won't be trading it. And I hope some of you have watched this right the way through. H1, rubbish. So in fact, that isn't a good idea to trade this, because H1's wrong. H4 is correct. We know that. We've looked at that. TMA. Actually, I did notice this before I started this video. The TMA is wrong. So to be super safe on this, wait for the TMA to close green again. Wait for that pullback on all those different time frames, and that is the safest time to trade. Look, and all we have to do is look left. Look what happened if you try to get into a trade for any length of time when the TMA turned grey. It turned green there. Let's have a look at that. Sorry, this is nearly 20 minutes now, but hopefully there is some value in it. So it turned grey, and then it turned green. That's a great sign. Then you drop down to all the lower time frames, double check everything, and that's your trade. Over here, we won't look at that bit there, although it's clear what's happened. Again, turns grey, bad. That's 8 hours of rubbish sideways. Some call it distribution or accumulation. I don't know which is which. But and then it turns green. You get the bus pullback, break and close on here. Bus pullback, break and close. That one's super clear. It's closed higher than that one. And then you might have got faked into this on the lower time frame. I don't generally trade using H4 as my sort of trigger, if you like, because it just takes so long. But there was a trade there. Whether it went up first or down, I'm not going to look into here. By the way, if I do start doing one-to-ones or anything like that, streaming, then all of this would be looked into in absolute minuscule depth and done properly. But producing videos for free, it's not going to be the case, is it? So yeah, and I mean, all this is messy. There are trades in there because the lower time frames, I wouldn't necessarily use, I don't, in fact, that's not the right word. I do not have to always have H4 green and some of the H1 even. But if M30, M15, M5 and M1, my entry uh, uh, level, if you like, entry time frame, are all green, then yeah, fantastic, that's good. Even just two time frames, M5 and M1, if everything else looks correct, the timing. And timing is another nuance. Talk about it all the time. This is why I built this. You have to understand where you are in relation to the H1 M30 closes, because if you've just had an H1 close and it's closed on a pullback, if you like, in other words, if um, if it's a red candle that is after a green alert trigger candle, then you want to be looking at that closely, because it's highly likely that the pullback is over and H1 will start to blast up. And that's another nuance, that's timing. Timing your entries, timing the closes of the candles. I time the closes of the candles right down to the M1, M5, M15 and so on and so forth. But you can't teach that really, unless you're in a live room environment. You have to read the technicals, if you like, watch a few videos that I've made, or read the rules, or make your own rules, and then just watch it happen in front of your eyes. Watch it, watch it, watch it. Screen time. Anyway, sorry for a bit of a preachy session, but hopefully the volume is a bit better. I'm sorry for the noise outside again, as always, but I don't hear it anymore. But in fact, it's part of the love I have for Vietnam. People are just so active. Anyway, I could go on for hours talking about charts and how to trade multi-time frames, but hopefully you've got something valuable from this session. Let's just have a look at that 30-minute and see what's happening now. We haven't closed. The last 30-minute closed. No, it's still not closed on that bar. That's the current bar. So, but it's looking exceptional. And then M15. Yeah. Now this is worth the trade, because oh no, we haven't closed yet, and we're liable to get the pullback. But saying that, this is what I would be watching for. It'll either explode or it'll close in 6 minutes 38 seconds, 37, and then it will pull back, and I'll be looking at M5, M1, and then if we can get a decent little trade before the close of the hour, then that would be a scalper's dream, and I shall be watching it closely. But also need to mention this: the earlier trade, it didn't hit the pivot. And if you look at the previous the chart on my Twitter feed or X feed or whatever, for the 14th of May, if you're watching this late, 14th of May, I posted a chart where I entered a trade and put the take profit just below that R1 daily there, because quite often the price will not hit it. You can't really see that there, but it did stop short of it, and that's why I do it. But it was only a penny part of the trade, 1% or whatever. I believe take off 99%, and I think it might have got stopped out, but no, I can't see that right now. So anyway, just another little tip there: if you're going for pivots, always take it short. I don't think I took this short enough, and it probably took me out. And that's it. So anyway, thanks for watching. Have a great day. It's the sea is about 80. The air is about 90, something like that, 35, whatever that is. And I am absolutely loving every day. Every day is a holiday, especially if you can trade, work, and enjoy everything outside as well. Have a great day. Thanks for Excuse me. Thanks for watching.